Splash with Ripple-Thru manages relationships between alignments and surfaces and drawings. The Ripple-Thru engine uses these relationships to determine how to correct geometry that is affected by an edit to something in the database. The first most important part of the tier of these relationships is called the marker. To demonstrate a marker, we'll use a simple example of this original PI with a child alignment offsetting it. What a marker does is it marks a transition point on any alignment that the child attaches to, so that the child is affected by these transitions. Now, the first most obvious thing to do would be to mark the beginning and the end of the alignment. So we'll mark the beginning and we'll mark the end. Now, this diamond shaped object is a marker. These markers do not plot. Now, if we move the alignment around, even though the stationing changes, this marker will always remain at the end of the alignment. Another, slightly more sophisticated kind of marker marks a point on the ground. Now, I would like to mark the point at which the alignment becomes normal to the corner of this building. So we'll use a point marker. Snap to the building and accept the point. Now, this point always marks the building. Now, let's make a simple child alignment. So we will do a quick offset, and let's use a 2% slope, and I'm 10 feet over. And we'll go from this marker to this marker. Now, we have a child alignment that starts 10 feet over on a 2% slope and continues on that slope all the way to the end of the road. Now, if we move the alignment, let's move the PI. I've got to hit the PI. Okay, so we select the PI and move the alignment. The child alignment moves with it. But we said we wanted to do something when we got to the corner of the building. So let's create an offset point. Now, let's look at the tier here. We have a parent alignment has a marker. The marker is offset by what's called an offset point, and the child is created by connecting the two offset points. So what we would like to do is to create a new offset point and offset this marker. Now let's keep the slope the same, but let's make this 20 feet. Now we have a new marker that's 20 feet out. Now let's say that we wanted to run until we got within 50 feet, let's say 20 feet of the building, and then reverse curved out. So I'll put another offset point on this same marker and give it a station modifier of minus 20 feet. And let's see, let me edit that. I meant to make that 10 feet. So we're on a 10-foot offset, then we go to a 20-foot offset, and then let's edit this offset point and tell it that it's 20 feet. Now, what we're seeing is we have this offset point connected to this offset point at the markers that mark the beginning end of the road, and we're starting at 10 feet and going to 20 feet. Well, we would like to connect this offset point to this offset point, and then we would like to connect this offset point to this offset point. Let's use a reverse curve. And then let's connect this offset point to the end. with a taper. Now, what do we have? Let's move the original alignment. Now, all the markers recomputed themselves to be in their proper relationship. So this stayed with the same relationship to the corner of the building. This was 20 feet before we got to the building, so we have a reverse curve here that comes 20 feet to the building, reverse curves out to add an extra lane, and then goes on to the end of the alignment. Now, this first tool on the marker tool palette selects a parent. A parent always carries the markers. So now, at the moment, this is the parent and this is the child. We would like to select this alignment to act as the parent. And we see that it has two markers, a beginning and an end. We could add other markers if we so desired. We'll create an offset offsetting this alignment, and let's make it a simple 4% slope on say 3 feet. Now what we have is a simple relationship that this child is on a 4% slope offsetting this alignment by 3 feet, yet this alignment is on a more complex relationship offsetting the original alignment. Now we'll select the original alignment. We must select it to edit it, and move the alignment, and all the children adjust themselves to maintain their relationships. Now, the marker is a very, very important part of relationship management in Splash. The first tool selects a parent. And with the markers you can see are on the parent, and they can be edited. This is the Edit Existing Marker tool. For example, if I edit this marker and change its station modifier to be minus 50 feet, then we stopped 50 feet shy of the end of the road, and so did the children, because they were offsetting this marker. This marks a curve. It's generally used for super elevation computations. This marks a point on the ground, such as the corner of that building or a property iron. This marks an actual station. This marks the beginning and end. This tool marks a zero cut fill point. This is where there is no cut and there is no fill. Basically, it's where an alignment comes out of the ground. This tool deletes a marker. Remember, if you delete a marker, it will delete all things attached to the marker. The remaining tools on the bottom here involve two alignments, the parent alignment and what's called an alternate alignment. Now, any alignment can be an alternate alignment, but the term alternate means that we have a currently selected alignment, and we're also going to use another alignment, such as this first tool is the intersection of two alignments. It would be the intersection of the parent, which will hold the marker, and another alignment. We call that the alternate alignment. If either alignment moves, the marker will adjust itself, and then of course everything attached to the marker adjusts itself, and so forth. Thus the ripple. This tool marks a point normal to an alternate alignment rather than normal to the parent alignment. This tool marks a point normal to the alternate alignment, and then once it establishes that point, it turns and pulls a normal to the parent alignment. This marks a station on the alternate alignment, and then puts a marker on the parent. And this tool marks a station on the alternate alignment, and then from that station runs a normal to the parent alignment. Now, these tools may seem odd, but they all have very important uses, and if you play the individual help files on those tools, you'll see examples of when and why you would want to use them.